Hey guys, all right, this is take 2. I was totally recording and then everything just like cut out. So I'm gonna try to redo this. I'm back today again with another book. Here's the book, The Warmth of Other Suns, the epic story of America's Great Migration. This book was everything to me. I loved it so much. So I came across this book on TikTok, as I say in a few other videos. TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. So I wanted to kind of grab a couple of books like during Christmas and then the beginning of the year, because our me and my husband's anniversary is at the beginning of the year. So it's a good time for me to ask him to buy me some books. But so I wanted to grab some books, specifically books about African Americans. And I was doing some research on TikTok and I came across this book. All I did was see the title. I seen a couple of people recommend it. They're like, it's a must read. And so I was like, I must grab it because I need to have this for myself and then my girls. Hopefully that they'll be able to read it in another couple of years. I could read it with them next year because we do homeschool, but I think that they'd probably appreciate it more in a couple of years because right now they're at that awkward teen stage. And I think growing up as a teen, when you learn a lot of stuff about what Black people went through, it kind of makes you feel like a little bit of shame and stuff like that. I do touch on a lot of topics. My kids do learn a lot of Black history and things like that. And they have gone through those motions and things. But I want them to 1,000% appreciate this book for what it is because the author did a great job. I did read a few good read reviews, I want to say, once I was done with the book, to try to see what other people were saying on there. And there were a couple of negative book reviews on there where it was like 1 star is like saying the author jumped from this to that, and when you're reading, they're at age 3 and then she just forwards to age 15 or something like that. Like, I don't know, to me it felt great. I don't know if it's just the way my brain works or whatever. It worked for me. I didn't too much pay attention to the exact dates or try to as I'm reading them, I'm like thinking about the dates. I'm thinking about when my mom was born, when my dad was born, when my grandmother was born, as far as like the timeline of when this is taking place and the age that, well, my grandma's no longer here, but the age that like my mom was when some of these things were taking place, and that she was here during like the segregated South and things like that kind of thing. And I don't know, to me that part was just like, really? But anyways, I think those are just like bullcrap reviews, just people wanting to be angry or upset about stuff that they probably didn't like within the book because it didn't make them feel good about their ancestors. But this is our ancestors' stories and they should be told in the way that they are meant to be told. To me, she was very respectful of the people that she wrote about in the books and their life, and I'm assuming how they told her the things. Now, if their family members come out and say, hey, this was disrespectful, then I could be like, okay, there's a problem with this book. But for just like random people to complain about the most minute things and give it a 1 star is like so ridiculous, because this author did a great, in my mind, phenomenal job. I had so much fun reading this book. So when I seen this book on TikTok, we ordered it. It comes, I see that it's this thick, and I'm like, oh crap, because this year my goal was to read take 2 weeks to read a book, but I just came up with a plan. I was like, I'll give myself 3 weeks. I know that I'm able to sit and read like a lot of pages at once, even if I needed to get through it in 2 weeks. But I didn't want to do that. I want reading to be super fun. I don't want to stress myself out. I don't want to be like antsy if I miss a day or something and I have to catch up the next day, that type of thing. So I was just like, I'll give myself 3 weeks and I'll pick a shorter book to read for the additional week. I did end up finishing this book in the 2 weeks that I said that I was supposed to finish it. And now I'm on my second book for the month, which I'm going to finish in a week. So I'll have like an extra week, to which I've been reading a book since January, and I planned on finishing it at the end of April, but I'm just ready to be done with that book. So I'm going to take that whole week, and it's our spring break for homeschool. So I'm just going to take that whole week and push my book out. So this worked out so perfect for me. But anyhow, I could not put this book down. When it was down, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about the characters. It's like I fell in love with the characters. Not characters, but people. I'm saying characters because like as if it's fake. But I fell in love with the people of the book and like their lives and what they had to go through, and like just so much empathy and like that they went through those things, and they made it, and they pushed through, and they survived, and they in my mind they thrived, even if they felt like, you know, life was beating them down and that they weren't getting their fair share. They did what they felt like they needed to do in order to survive and thrive. It wasn't the easiest life by any means, but they did that. They made something out of nothing. And I, for one, can appreciate that, especially coming from where they came from, the point in life that they were. And if it wasn't for people such as them and our other ancestors that left, like, life could be so different. I love that we fought for what we needed, despite how that looked or felt. Our people kept pushing and doing the things that they needed to do. I would definitely and highly recommend this book for anyone who likes reading about Black history. There were some ups and downs there, and like when I say I got it, I don't know what it was. It was weird. I got really, really attached to the book, and it just felt so good. And it was just like, there's parts where I'm like, oh shit, like, oh crap, like this is real, you know? And I kept sharing like so much of the book like with my dad and my husband, and just telling them like, oh, this is going on, that's going on, this is crazy, this is wild, this is sad, this is, you know, like whatever. You go through like all the feels within this book, and I wouldn't say anything else but to read it. Just read it. Just trust me, read it. And if you do, or if you have, comment below and tell me how you felt. I don't know, for me it was a big thing. And then I also just so happened to get her other book. I didn't even know it was by her because, again, I'm not paying attention. I'm just like ordering. But I got her other book, Cass, and now I'm so excited to read that as well. Next month is April, so I want it to go a little bit light, but I think I'll be reading Cass in May. And I'm really excited for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and until the next read, bye.